Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday, September 27th. It is 6:20 right now. Market's going to open in about 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and then we can get started with our session for today. So just give me a few moments to finish setting this up, and then we should be good to go. So a couple things here to update. But other than that, I think we should be pretty solid. Lots of volatility today, lots of news pre-market, so I'll mark that up shortly. So let me get a few minutes here to get this good, and we should be good to go. All right, solid. With that all set up, let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Good. All right, there we go. All right, looks good. So give a few minutes for people to make their way in. And as people make their way in, I'm going to go ahead and mark up the areas for the K2SR zone. So let me zoom out real quick. All right, so I'm going to go from top to bottom. Fix this real quick. It's right here. There's a lot of overlapping zones here, so I'm gonna have to make some changes after I draw the first couple of zones here. So I'm just going to draw the ones that are far out. And then I'm going to edit the overlapping ones. All right, so looks good so far. Let me do this one. All right, solid. So I've got these drawn out right here. I'm going to go and just extend this one right here because they overlap. Extend this one right here because these overlap. And there's one more right here. All right, so I got all the zones drawn up right here. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw up the news price. So let's go here real quick. We had news at, all right, first news event was 4:30. And Powell started speaking. So Powell started speaking right there, 4:30. 4:30 US news, Powell speaking. We had news at 5:30 was negative as anticipated. News right here at 5:30. I'm expecting all the news this week to be negative, so we'll see how that goes. So 5:30 US news, negative. We have one more news here that happened at 6 o'clock. HPI, S&P, CS Composite 20, both negative. So as I mentioned, I'm expecting everything here to be negative. This is all inflation and recession news. So we'll see how this affects the market. 6 o'clock. US news, negative. All right, so I got news price all marked up here. Let me see what other news we got for today. We got news at 6:55, Federal Bullard speaking. 7 o'clock, we have CV consumer confidence, new home sales, Richard manufacturing index, etc. So 6:55 and 7 o'clock are the next news events. I'm expecting everything to be negative. And we'll just keep that in mind. Obviously, that's not going to dictate our trades here because we don't trade news, but we'll keep an eye out. So 6:55.7 got all the other news events marked up. Let's see who's here so far. So scrolling up real quick. Morning, Karen. Morning, Peter. Morning, Funmi. Morning, Maddie. Morning, Patricia. Morning, Fahad. Morning, Marco. Morning, David. Morning, everybody. So as people continue to make their way in, I've marked up news price, marked up the current zones. Let's take a look at the bias for today. So looking over here at retail sentiment, it's kind of weird that this is in Chinese. I've never seen Daily FX kind of advertise stuff in Chinese, but Chinese taking over. So anyways, with that said, retail sentiment is currently 68% long with regard to retail traders. So there's 68% of retail traders who are currently buying right now. So we typically want to do the opposite and sell. So overall bias with regard to retail sentiment is indicating that we should be looking for sells. Looking over here at the fundamentals, they're currently up 273 points. So with that said, this is going to counteract the retail sentiment. However, retail sentiment trumps fundamentals. So that means that retail sentiment is more important than the fundamentals here. They're not super important. Like they're not going to be the end all be all, but we're going to be looking for a bearish to neutral bias because this here does not align with it yet. When it does align, we're going to have a strong bearish bias. But right now we have a bearish bias with regard to long-term. Medium, we're going to be looking for basically neutral. And with short-term, we're looking at bearish. So with this said, long-term bearish, short-term bearish, middle neutral, we're going to be looking for, sells possibly for today because the short-term here is bearish as well. And you can see that because the trend meter down here is red. Pivots are above current price. And you can see the pivots are angling down with the red pivot over the green pivot. So with that said, we're definitely going to be looking for sells today. Regardless, we typically are looking for sells anyway. So it's not much of a difference here. But this is just a visualization to show you guys why we're looking for sells here, because short-term is telling us to take sells, long-term is telling us to take sells. The moderate bias fundamentals here, this can easily change. So when the market does open, this can change back to red. Other than that, I think that's about it for right now. Let's see who else is here. Morning, Maria. And I think that's about it. Market's opening in about a minute and 40 seconds. When the market opens, we'll start looking for some K2 SR rejection entries. Here's a clean chart. I'm going to go and mark up the high lows to identify market structure for you guys so that you guys can kind of see where price is going. I know sometimes it's difficult to see when price is ranging, but once you draw up the high lows here, it makes all the difference because you can see exactly where price is ranging, right? So this is why I always recommend that you guys draw up the high lows if possible. If you guys have the K2 high low indicator, always draw up your high lows if they haven't been tested, and it'll show you exactly where price is going. So if you look at price right here, you probably didn't even notice that a price is ranging right here, right? You probably would have thought price was actually down in the downtrend because you would have looked at the overall bias like this and you've been like, okay, price is going down. But realistically, price is going sideways because it is going sideways right here. There is a big range right there, and there's a small range within it. So you could have been easily tricked right there because you probably would have thought that price was trending down. Realistically, price is actually going sideways. Right? So it looks like price is in a downtrend if you just look at it from a bird's eye view, but realistically, if you look at the high lows here, price is really just going sideways at the moment. So we'll see where this goes. As I mentioned, we're not really looking for anything yet until price really starts to trend. Hasn't done that yet. So we're going to stick with a K2 SR rejection entries at the moment. So, all right, guys, let's get going. Hey, Kenny, morning. Market is now open, guys. So this is the opening candle. Markup opening price right here. New York open price. This could be a possible entry for a K2 SR rejection, but it looks like the candle may be a little too big. So see about that. This is the opening candle as well. So yeah, the candle's way too big. You can see the stop loss right here is smaller than the entire candle. So price goes and retraces back. It's not going to be a good entry because it can easily stop you out before it hits your TP. So possible SR rejection scalp right here, but not necessarily a good one because the candle is just way too big. Right? If I do decide to take something like this, I can probably wait for it to retrace a bit, but I'm not looking to take it right away. Looks like it's gonna hit TP, but it's too late to enter at this point. Thanks, Peter. Peter said yesterday's opening price was 29484. Oh, it's right at it, huh? It's right next to the current opening price. So we're not in this position right here, guys. I was just marking it up to show you guys. But the reason why we wouldn't have taken this is, for one, the candle's too big. You can see here that the candle from entry would have been 450 pips. So the problem with that is that if it retraces up to the candle, which it typically does if the candle is too big, it'll stop you out before it hits your TP. So unfortunately, no entry there. Also, it's right at opening price. So what we'll see here is if price rejects off this point right here without touching opening price, then we can take one right here. So if this closes as a moderate red candle, this could possibly, never mind, it's touched the opening price. So unfortunately, no entry right there. It's touching the red flag. But yeah, Peter, thanks for the heads up. Looks like yesterday's opening price was like right next to it. So let's see. Coordinates, you said 29848. Yeah, it's literally right before it or right below it. We'll just mark that up for right now. Let's see yesterday's opening price. I'm not going to use this as a red flag as of yet because we don't typically like to use old data, but we'll just keep it there just for caution. So let's see where price is currently going. So if we get a moderate red candle here, possible entry, but it can't drop too far. Unfortunately, it looks like it will be dropping too far because it'll, yeah, it's going to go right through opening price right there. All right, so price is moving a little erratic right now, which is fine. It's opening price, it's marked to just open, so no surprise there. It did hit liquidity below here. Hit liquidity, dropped a little lower, and then here we are as it swings right back up. So still no entry here. Let me check the zones. Sam said zones need updating. So let me check real quick. I think the zones are fine, Sam. Is there one here that's different? The zones here look fine on my end. Top's good, middle's good right here. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with the zones. Not sure if you might be seeing something. Maybe I'm missing something. Yeah, Maddie said zones are good. Yeah, if I'm missing something, Sam, just let me know. I can fix it. I just don't see it myself, so I can't really tell. It looks like there's one zone up here. There's a little one. That's like right there. So you can just adjust that slightly. Yeah, the zones change kind of often, Sam. So you probably saw it as it was adjusting, but it didn't actually close. Just is good. So thanks for the little heads up there. All right, so the trend meter here is turning blue, guys. With that said, price is swinging up a little bit. However, it wouldn't really matter because even if price does swing up and turns green, there's all these red flags right here. We got news price. We got sessions. More news up here. And then sessions up here. So I'm not really looking to take any buys here, but even if I was, there wouldn't be any places for us to take entries because there's so many red flags around these areas. One thing that I would be looking out for is if price swings right back down and tests opening price, right? That's probably going to be the turning point to take sells. But either way, there's a lot of red flags up here, so we wouldn't be able to take any trades. I mean, even for our little scalps, little 100 pip scalps, they're still going to be in the way. So let's go back over here and take a look at the, all right, so CNBC just reported Dow jumps more than 200 points to bounce back from the lowest level since 2020. With that said, you know what's going to happen next. Price is probably going to drop, right? So we'll wait for that and we'll see where it goes. But this is a clear indicator that price is probably going to drop. So looking over here, let's take a look at sentiment again real quick. Sentiment is currently 69% long. So more people are hopping onto these buys here. And this is going to indicate that, you know, we should definitely be looking for sells. Looking over here at the fundamentals are currently up nearly 300 points. They're up way too high. Looking over here on the heat map is pretty much all green, it looks like. Yeah, literally all green right here. So this is where it's going to be a bit of an issue because this conflicts with everything else, right? Sentiment's indicating to take a sell. This is indicating to take a buy. Heat map's all green. It's a weird market today. So we'll see where this goes. Refreshing CNBC real quick. Yeah, all the indices are pretty much up right now. Dow's up almost 300 points. S&P's up 50 points. Nasdaq's up 200 points. We'll see. But, you know, as I mentioned, this is going to probably cause a drop since the news are here just reported. So I think they'll probably prop up price a little more, and then eventually they'll just swing right back down. Especially with the news coming up over here. We got news over here at 6:55. Fed member Bullard's going to speak. Probably bad stuff. Oh, so this is kind of what I see happening. I kind of see price getting propped up until news right here, because when the Fed speaks at 6:55, they're going to be discussing regulation, inflation, and the recession. So I see this all as a temporary push to the upside, and then eventually it'll probably come up and test the sessions up here. And once it tests the sessions, it'll probably make its way back down once we hit news. So I'd be very careful if you guys are looking to chase this push to the upside. I see this as just luring in a bunch of buyers before they dump price right back down. All right, sentiment is now 70%. So we'll see where this goes. All right, so I'm basically looking for a reversal pattern here. So we'll see where that plays out. All right. So price is still pushing up right here. Target price point for it to test is going to be the sessions right here before a possible return back to the downside. Or maybe the London high. There's two sessions up here. So these are the two sessions where price can possibly test. But we'll see where this goes. I'm just looking for a reversal pattern. So basically what I'm looking for, I'm not necessarily looking to enter at this time, but what I'm looking for is a variation, because the variations are reversal patterns. So if price pushes up right here, I'm looking for it to swing back down. So like a double body, double wick. I mean, those are the strongest types of reversal patterns to see. You might even get a double top up here, or triple top. So we got, or quadruple top. So we got a top right here, top right here, top right here, and a possible top right here, if it comes to that point. So we'll see. There's a lot of areas for rejection. It can be the structure. It can be the New York high. It could be the London high. There's just a lot of areas here where price can reverse from. But if it does reach this point, this will be like a quadruple top. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities here. Maddie said possibility of faking out and shooting up to the sessions. Exactly, Maddie. That's what I can see too. So there's just too many scenarios here that can play out. I wouldn't necessarily look for a buy here. Looks like a lot of people are bandwagoning onto those buys. Looks like couple people pulled out actually. It's down to 69 again. Fundamentals are still very green, and they're up 300 points now. So it's up 358 points. So the thing with this here, guys, is that this just doesn't make sense, right? There's no reason for the stocks to go up. The market isn't doing better. It's just people are speculating in the market to buy the dip. So people are buying the dip, letting price push up, and then eventually it's just going to come right back down. So Chicago Federal Reserve, Charles Evans, central bank raising rates too high quickly to fight inflation. In contrast to slew of federal officials recently reiterated tough stance against raising prices. So it's tough because the Fed is like arguing back and forth between raising interest rates and whatnot, but that's the only way that they can fight this, right? It's the only way that they can lower inflation. They got to raise interest rates, but it's just part of the whole scheme here. So here we go. There's a double body. This is a reversal pattern. This may be the start of a swing back to the downside. All right, so we got a double body rejection there. I don't necessarily recommend anybody take this because there's another session right here. It's just a lot of areas where price can be manipulated. But this would be, if it does close as a double body, this would be considered a reversal pattern back to the downside. So I'll watch it, but again, I'm not looking to take it as a, if there was no sessions right here, I might have been inclined to take a V1. The sessions is right there though, so it's not, it's a risky entry to take. They'd have to break through the sessions in order for it. And there you go, full TP, right? So there's a V1 entry right there. This is exactly what I was looking for. I mentioned as a reversal pattern. This can be the start of a swing back to the downside. But there's the sessions here. If there was no sessions, I probably would have taken this trade here. Because price is propped up so heavily, it has to retrace back down. If you guys measure how far overextended it is, price is pushed up literally 2,222 pips with no retracement. It's due for retracement. It's gotta retrace at some point. So we'll see where this goes. Also, what may happen is price may fake out right here, come back up, test the London Open, and then come right back down. This right here would have been a 3-minute daily, would have been a full TP. Whoever checked the 3-minute daily, 5-minute over here as well. I think it already hit TP over here too. We're on its way to it. Yeah, basically almost there. Also a V1 right here, like Maddie mentioned. But it was right at sessions. Yeah, there's too many sessions around this area, guys. There's like sessions right here. I wouldn't have taken 5-minute. There were sessions right here as well. I wouldn't have taken it. Like, it would have been good entries, but there's too many red flags around this area. Like, for example, here, if your spread's too wide, you probably wouldn't have gotten stopped. You wouldn't have gotten pulled out of the trade. You still would have been in the trade. Here we go. As price starts to swing down lower. Looking for a possible swing back down from this point. Next target price point is going to be news price down here. Unfortunately, the trend meter is still very green, so we can't even take a wick rejection or a K2SR rejection if it would happen here, because what I'm looking for at this point is possible swing back up, provide wick rejection off this structure, and ride it back down further. But we can't take it because the trend meter is not red yet. The main thing here is staying disciplined, right? I looked over a couple trades yesterday that I could see people kind of FOMOing into. I did see a couple of SR entries, but the thing is the trend meter wasn't red. So I could see some people losing trades yesterday if you were taking trades and they didn't fit the criteria. So I thought it's really important that you guys follow the requirements and don't skip any steps. I know it's tempting right here to take some sells, but it's super risky to take them at this point because this is still an area of manipulation. It's right next to the sessions. Next target price point is news price down here. Just make sure whenever you guys are taking entries that you guys are following the criteria and making sure that all requirements are met. See how big this candle is. It's not too big. Gotta wait for the trend meter to change though. Here we go, as price reaches the target price point of news price. There we go. Went straight to the target. If price closes below this, next target price point is going to be the sessions right here, which is the Asia high. It's got to close below the news price, which it did. So this is an area of manipulation where price can get faked out. This is why we don't trade around news price, like any of these horizontal lines. So you can see right here, our price came down. This could be a fake out back up before it comes right back down. Or it can swing up and then come back down at some point. Still a messy market, guys, unfortunately. I was hoping that this week would be more fall-like, where price would go one direction. But obviously, as you guys can see here, it's not directional at all. It's moving back and forth. I'll mark up opening price right here so that you guys have a better visualization of how price is moving. 6:30 is when market opened. So 6:30 up until 8 o'clock. You can see our price pushed up. Basically hit liquidity. And then came right back down. So as price hit liquidity over here, I'm going to go ahead and clean up this area and redraw current market structure. All right, so price just pretty much went into another zone. This is the new zone now. Right, zone was down here earlier. So price was up here, faked out, and it shot all the way up here. Now price is right back into the range. So we'll see where this goes as price continues to move around right here. So this is exactly why you don't want to trade at news price. You guys can see exactly where price reversed from. News price, right? Or not even news price. You can just look at these horizontal lines. If you just look at where the lines are, price reverses from them directly. All right, I'm going to update the zone. I think this zone is gone. This one is gone as well. That one's gone too. All right. So if we have to shift our bias on the short term to bullish, which it's currently bullish right now, we can do that. Since we're looking for short-term trades here, we can do that. However, it wouldn't really matter for us if where price is currently at, because we can't get a wick rejection off the structure right here, right? It's impossible because we have news price right there. We have sessions right there. So price can't reject off any of these zones here for a buy. We also can't get any buys off this point either because the sessions is right here. So if price was to go up here, give us a wick rejection, it's impossible for us to take any buys because price would have to reach the sessions before we can take any entries, right? So just using logic right here, I can just already tell that it's going to be impossible for us to take any buys. I'm hoping price drops lower so that we can take some trades down on the lower side. We just got to get away from all of these red flags. Okay, so price is dumping right here. It's doing exactly what we were anticipating. So guys, check out where the dump started from this V1 up here, right? The V1 happened, price started reversing super hard from this point. Here goes, price drops lower. One thing we have to keep an eye out for is these red flags. So typically what I'm looking for right here is I'm looking for price to come down, retrace up slightly, provide a wick rejection right here, and then we ride it for continuation lower. That's pretty much what I'm looking for. That's a pattern. for this news event right here at 6:55, guys, we could probably take a trade when it gets around this area, because the Fed's going to start speaking, but we don't know if he's going to speak exactly at 6:55, right? He can speak 5, 10, 20 minutes later. Probably not like Biden, where Biden speaks like maybe 2 hours later because he takes a long time to start. For the Fed, it might happen a lot quicker. So if we get an entry at this point right here, we can take it. Trend meter is now red. If price closes below or within the structure right here, we can wait for the retracement and identify a wick rejection right there for an entry. All right, so we got the wick rejection right there. See if it closes as a moderate red candle. We got about 50 seconds left on this candle, so we got a lot of time. We just got to make sure that price does not push up and touch the news price right here, which it just did. So unfortunately, no entry off this because it's now touched the red flag. And unfortunately, we cannot take a trade where it's currently at, because you don't want to get caught in manipulation right there. Oh, man, these red flags are all over the place. All right, so requirements can't be met there. So unfortunately, we can't take the trade at that point. We need price to drop right back down below. So, and here's an example of like why you don't want to take trades at those red flags, because you can see right here, price faked out, right? It's pretty much the same pattern. Price came below, faked out, and then it came dumping right back down. You really don't know where price is going to go when price gets to this point. Any of these red flags. Same thing with this right here. It's doing exactly the same thing that happened right here. Price broke below, faked out, and then it's probably going to come right back down. But it just isn't at that point yet. And yeah, like Fahad said, we got Fed member Bullard speaking at 6:55. Let me see if I could find the video for that so we can follow. See if he's actually in. Looked at Fed Bullard. So his is not going to be live streamed, fortunately. Speech. Yeah, his speech is not going to be televised. I'll look back later, but I don't see him on here right now on YouTube. He might be on CNBC or somewhere else, but he's not on YouTube right now. Let me check real quick. So Fed member Bullard. Yeah, I don't see anything here. Let's update this real quick, see if there's anything else that's been announced. All right. So yeah, no updates right now. Maddie said this market ain't it. I know, not at all. So it's doing the same thing it did earlier. So same pattern right here. Price went down to the news price, which was a red flag, faked out, and came right back down. It did the same thing again right here. Same exact candle too. So price broke right below the news price, faked out, and I probably would expect it to come right back down again. It's going to do pretty much what just happened here, another breakout to the bottom. Looking over here at the sentiment is currently 69% long. So it's still, we still have a sell bias right now with regards to long term. Looking over here at the fundamentals, they're down at 279. Looking at the heat map is pretty sure it's still pretty green. Yeah, it's still pretty green. So not much has changed there, but it's going to change eventually. It's not, can't hold forever. especially when it's so it's oversaturated for buys right now. And here we go, as price starts to come back down. It's doing exactly what I just said, right? Same thing as what happens up here. So now that price is back below this point, looking for price to provide an entry for an SR scalp right there. Let's see, Peter said there's a lot of news on my FX book. Yeah, everything here is at 7. This is pretty much the stuff that we have coming for Forex Factory too, Peter. So same thing right here. It's just it's broken down into multiple little parts, but it's the same thing. New home sales, consumer confidence, Richmond Manufacturing Index, pretty much all the stuff here. It's just there's actually news here at 7:30 as well. So thanks for that, Peter. I'll mark that up over here as we continue along 7:30. All right, so the Fed's supposed to be speaking right now. I don't know when he's starting or whatnot, but there hasn't been an update yet. Yeah, no, you're good, Peter. You actually were right because there's one at 7:30 and I didn't see that one. That one's actually not on for Forex Factory. I know Forex Factory likes to break it up a lot. So like for here, we have new home sales and Richmond Manufacturing Index. They have the same thing here, but they broke it down to 3 different news events. Shipments, services, and manufacturing. So that's fine. Thanks for the update, Peter. It's useful. It's useful because I don't really look at my FX book. I typically like to go with Forex Factory, but my FX book does have stuff that Forex Factory doesn't sometimes. All right, so there's nothing with Bullard live. However, we do have news coming up shortly at 7 o'clock, so it might be too difficult to take any trades right here. I was looking for that wick rejection off the structure and continuation, but it doesn't look like we're going to be getting it because we do have news coming up shortly. Let's see. So I'm just going to mark up news price right here at 655 from Bullard, even though we don't have, actual start date. So I'll just put 7 at 655. US news. Fed Bullard speaking. All right, so I'm going to look here to see if this closes as a, well, we don't even have a red trend meter, so we can't even take this trade if we wanted to. I mean, technically, if you wanted to, you can take it as a risky speculative SR scalp because the pivots are angling down and the red's over the green. The trend meter here just hasn't changed yet. So I'll probably follow it. If I do decide to take it, I'll let you guys know, but I'm pretty conservative. I'm not looking to take anything too risky here. And never mind, it's pushed up and touched news price. So yeah, and like what Patrick said as well. So a lot of things here causing us not to take trade. All requirements are not met. I was waiting for the trend meter to turn red. However, it did touch news price, and then we're in the no trade window because we have news coming up at 7 o'clock. So, man, today's just as bad as yesterday. I thought today was going to be a lot better, but it's just as bad because there's so much news around this area. Yesterday there just wasn't any. There wasn't any direction, but today there's just. I mean, there's no direction today either, but there's also no. There's too much news price around. So we got news coming up right here in a minute, guys. We'll see how that plays out. And so here's the clean chart. Look where price is back at. It's back at where the original range was, right? So this right here was a fake out. This right here was basically a fake out as well. And then it just came right back down. So if I delete this right here and just clean it up a little bit, you guys can see that price literally went nowhere today. It faked out both ways, and then it came right back down. Faked out right here, faked out right here, and then it's right back to where it was originally. It's like price never went anywhere. So I'll leave that up right there. We got news coming up right now. Let's see. Another zone right here, which is fine. All right, we got the zone right there. We got the news right here at 7. Let's check the news price or news on the calendar. So news right here, CB consumer confidence, new home sales. I'm expecting all this stuff to be negative. Negative, new home sales negative, Richmond Manufacturing Index negative. Interesting. So, well, okay, so this isn't necessarily positive, right? It's green because it's better than expected. They were expecting it to be below 500K, but it's actually no, this is a lot higher. So last month was 511,000. I'm surprised that all the stuff is positive because past couple of months it's been pretty negative. There's a lot of new home sales that just came randomly in September. It went from 511,000 to 685,000. So it went up 170,000 basically new home sales. You can see right here, it's been negative for like the past couple months. June was kind of big too. For some reason, it went up slightly, like about 50K. But this month it went up like 70K or 100K, over 100K actually, 170K. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, Peter said, I think those numbers are manipulated. It just doesn't make sense, right? Who's buying houses? Nobody has money right now. We're going through a recession. You guys can see the numbers here from April. April, it dropped 100K. May, it dropped like 200K. July, it dropped 100K. August, it dropped 100K. And then now it's back to 600, back to like June. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, Peter said that he thinks those numbers are manipulated. I believe so as well. It just doesn't make sense. I don't see people buying houses right now. There's so many houses on the market. Or unless, so what might happen here, Peter, is that this might not be regular people, right? This might be like institutions buying homes because they're buying them at a lower rate because they have cash. So that's, yeah, you're right. It might be manipulated because I don't think this is for just normal buyers. It's probably institutions. All right, we got a pending SR rejection. Thanks, Maddie, for that little update right there. About 15 seconds here. If this closes as a moderate red candle, this can possibly be an entry. It's still technically in a no trade window, so I'm probably not going to take it. 702 right now. I'm glad that news price is all around the same area though. This is perfect so that we can just avoid this area completely. It's ironic, huh? So it was positive news, but price dumped super heavy. Like literally all the news is positive, green, green, green. But then everything, it dumped like about 1,000 pips. Yeah, not really surprised, but it's just how it is. All right. All right, it's hitting liquidity down here on the lower end, and it's just slumping. So looking back to the reversal pattern that we identified, you guys can see here from the V1 played out perfect. So this might be something to look at in the future, right? If you have sent, because the thing is, there's no surprise that price is down here because we already identified that. I showed you guys here on retail sentiment that price was going to have to drop at some point. So what we were looking for was a V1 in the opposite direction, which it played out right here. So you could have probably taken this for a nice move if you wanted to take something speculative, right? 500 pip stop loss, 1,000 pip TP down here. This could have been you know, a huge 2-to-1 right here, or even 3-to-1. If you wanted to look for something like that. So, all right, back to our chart markup. So no entry right here. What we're possibly looking for is a wick rejection off the structure and then possible continuation back down, but we don't have that yet. So let's see where this goes moving forward here. Yeah, I don't really see anything here. Some profits here from you guys. So Dell over here posted his profits. He's up 1,278 for the day. Nice work, Dell. Second account currently up 2,386. Nice work, Dell. Valentine over here currently up 2,160 for the day. Nice work, Valentine. Dell, some more profits, currently up 3,130. Damn, Dell's killing it. So nice work, guys. I'm not sure if you guys are taking this off the analysis for the sell, but you guys already had a bias. I can tell here because you guys took all these sells. You guys were listening to the analysis this morning because we were waiting for this to swing back down. Valentine again right here as well, currently up 3,312. So Valentine and Dell been killing it. All right, guys, solid work. Possible entry right here for a K2 SR rejection. See if this closes as a moderate red candle. Just gotta wait for it to actually close. I've got about 30 seconds left on this candle here. About 25 seconds. Just got to make sure that the body is bigger than the bottom wick. If the bottom wick is bigger, it's not going to be a moderate red candle. At about 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there's no wick. The wick on the bottom is too big. So no entry off that, unfortunately. That would have been a full TP too if it closed properly. Yeah, CT said I don't like the 3-wick candles earlier. Yeah, me neither. There's a lot of wicks on these candles right here. And I agree with you, CT. So let's see again right here if we get another wick rejection off this candle. You need to swing up a little bit and then possible swing right back down. Yeah, Maddie said he wants a retracement and a drop. That's exactly what I want too, Maddie. Because we got this whole area right here where price can fill, right? Yeah, exactly. Maddie said luring in retail right now. Definitely. All right, so price is still dropping right here. I was looking to see if this would be a continuation for you, Maddie, but it's not. There's a continuation right here, but the candle is just way too big. Still waiting for that retracement back up. Or some new zones to possibly. So the zones up here got adjusted. Not that it's relevant. I don't think price is going to come back up here, but let's update them for now. All right. So nothing for us to take, guys. Unfortunately, price is dumping right now, but there's no availability for us to make an entry at this point. 5-minute sell signal. Pending sell right there. It's dropping to the lower levels, trying to reach the London low. This candle here is way too big, though. It's like 1,000 pips. Yeah, exactly. I retrace halfway, like Maddie mentioned. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said my retrace halfway, and then we can possibly get an entry on the 1 minute. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for too. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go on the higher time frames to identify lower zones, just so we can identify, where the bounce might happen or where a bounce is possibly occurring. So price is actually within a huge zone right now on the 10-minute. So this whole area right here is a huge zone. I'm gonna color this a different color so that you guys know that this isn't the 1-minute zone. Let's color blue, light blue. All right, back to the 1-minute. So price is actually within a zone right here. You guys can see that it came down, rejected directly off the 10-minute zone, and bounced right back up. This is why you guys do not want to chase trades, because if you guys chase trades like that, you guys can easily get caught up in this reversal. So it's touching the 10-minute zone right here, and it's currently within the 10-minute zone right now as well. Some pretty big zones. Here we go. As price retraces back up. It's exactly what we were waiting for. I'll take this off. We'll just keep this lower one to identify where the next zone is at. So, all right, we'll let this retrace up a little higher. And then possibly take this sell as price makes its way back down. Or even better, we can possibly even look for a variation because it looks like price is coming back down. So we'll see if we could find something here. Variation, continuation, whatever you guys want to look for. Those are possibly going to be some of the better entries that I'd be looking for because we do have a sell bias. So if we do get a variation to the downside for a V1, double body or double wick, we could probably expect it to drop down further. Going back to the overall bias, again, retail sentiment is still 69% long. So we're definitely looking for sells there. Looking at the fundamentals, you're down to 153 points. So it's definitely weakening right now. Looking at the stock index right here, they're pretty much mostly green, but a lot of these are turning red. Heat map over here as well is turning still pretty green, but it's still turning red. I didn't know McDonald's made it to US30. Is that McDonald's? Oh, wow, they did. So McDonald's is actually part of US30 now. I didn't realize that they switched them in. So you can see here that the companies do change. Sometimes when companies are doing well, they'll switch them in. When companies are doing bad, they switch them out. But McDonald's is now back on US30. They haven't been on US30 for a while from what I remembered. But yeah, they're back on. All right, so I'm waiting for this to come back up, guys. Basically what I'm looking for is a variation V1, or I'm looking for an SR rejection, right? Two main things I'm looking for right here. In order for us to get a V1, we need a bullish momentum signal. So we need a buy signal here to close. Once we have that, we can look, because we'll have that pending momentum right back down. So I know typically I don't look for variations, but for today, I'm looking for a variation because we have a strong bias for a sell. So I'm looking for the retracement, and then I'm looking for the reversal right back down to where we're aiming for, which is down here. So two things I'm looking for there. Maddie might be looking for his continuation entry. I'm still a bit iffy on that, so I'll wait. But variation probably. The thing that I'm getting a little wary for here is that the volatility is starting to die down. We're getting a lot of candles here with big wicks. So might mess with the direction. So if we have something like that, we might have to wait for this variation, because variations are not good trades to take when market is going sideways. Fresh Bullard, see if Bullard speech live. No, okay. So nothing with Bullard there. All right, looks like price is doing literally nothing now. I gotta go and update these zones real quick, or not zones, but these high lows on the clean chart, or what we consider the clean chart. Maddie said looking for an SR entry only here, not a good place to trade right now. Yeah, and I agree too, Maddie. Not really a good area to trade right now. It looks like it's starting to, or it's trying to establish a new range right here. As you can see, we have a low right here. It's trying to establish a high. If it comes back down after it establishes a high, then it's producing a new range below here. So this is a continuation entry, Maddie. I'm not sure if you're looking to take this. Yeah, Maddie said candle might be too big, which it is. It's past the 300 pips here. It's too risky because if you take a candle that's too big like that, it could retrace up, hit your stop loss before it hits your TP. Yeah, the candle's way too big. I'll follow it, but I'm not going to take it. So I'm not taking this trade right here. I'm just following it. It's Maddie's continuation entry. It's too risky. The candle is just too big. If it retraces up to the full candle, it can hit your stop loss before I hit your TP. Or I can go straight to TP like it's doing right here. And it would have been a full TP, but too risky of a move. So this would be an example of Maddie's continuation entry. It's basically a V1 without the pending momentum signal. So it looks for a double body rejection off the top, V1, with no pending momentum. So, man, I feel like this whole week's been, well, the past 2 weeks, I feel like it's been testing our patience. Like last week, we didn't have any trades until Friday, right? Friday, we had 3 back-to-back wins. Same with this week. The market's been super like back and forth yesterday. Again, today it's been kind of choppy. Then now it's starting to move a little directional, but still, no entries for us to take at the moment. Yeah, next week is NFP, like Peter said. If you guys remember how the market moves pre-NFP, it's usually pretty choppy the week before and then NFP week. So there's a couple different scenarios, and I'll just put them down right here. So like, I'll just put pre-NFP, NFP scenarios. And if you guys have been trading with me for a while, you guys have seen this. It happens like every time. So typically what happens, scenario number 1. So pre-NFP, slow, choppy week. NFP, correctional, great week. That's like scenario 1. Scenario 2 is the opposite, pre-NFP. And then scenario 3, pre-NFP, slow, choppy week, and then NFP, slow Monday to Wednesday or Tuesday, great direction, Wednesday through Friday. So if you guys have been trading with me for a while, you guys have seen that this pattern plays out like a lot, where it's either really choppy and slow the first week, like the week before NFP, and then NFP is just great throughout the week. There's some times where it's very directional pre-NFP, and then it's slow and choppy during NFP. And then for scenario number 3, it's slow the week before, then it's slow early NFP week, but then from there, it starts to pick up super heavily. So I'm hoping it's going to be like this right here, the first scenario, right? Slow, and then next week, just super great, where you can make a ton of profit. It pretty much makes up for this week. That's like best case scenario. Secondary, maybe scenario 3. Scenario 2, I don't think this is going to be the case unless the market starts to pick up tomorrow. But this is like from my experience, because I've been trading, I don't know how many NFPs. I've been trading live for about like 5 years now, I think. So, 12 times 5. Just from my experience, I've traded like 60 NFPs with you guys live. So it just comes from my experience of trading NFP that these are the 3 scenarios that usually come up. And it's just all repetition, right? It just repeats itself every time. So something to keep in mind. So if this week sucks, I mean, it's better to just conserve your capital for next week. We'll try to squeeze in. I think we'll squeeze in maybe a couple trades here and there. There's nothing else going on right here. I mean, there's a V3 entry, not one that I would necessarily take, but I think it was too small too. That'd be about 300. Yeah, V3, but not a V3 that I'm looking to take. I'm looking for a V1 or a SR rejection. So in order for us to get the SR rejection, we need to have a sell signal. So we need a wick rejection off the structure with a moderate red candle and a sell signal. We can get that possible entry. All right, we got the wick rejection. We got the red trend meter. We need a moderate red candle with a sell signal. Not sure if we'll get the sell signal right here, but if we do, let's keep an eye out for it. If it does happen, I'll probably enter like right away because you probably won't have much time to think about it. We also got to make sure that the candle's not too big. The farthest that we can go is down here. All right, this is as far as we can go. Yeah, that's what we're looking for, Patricia. So we're looking for a moderate red candle and a red momentum signal. So that's what we need to catch the entry. If it was going to close down here, we'd probably get a momentum signal because the candle would be big enough to provide momentum. And here we go, as price starts to swing back up. It's only 7:22 right now, so we do have a lot of time. Hopefully by that time, by the time it gets close to 8, something will produce. But yeah, no, exactly. DeJohn said we needed this retracement, which I agree to, Sean. So I'm not bummed out that we got this retracement right here. This is still fine. We'll let the retracement play out, fake out, and then come right back down. Take a look at sentiment again. Sentiment is back to 70% long. So I'm still looking for sells here. You can see that people are still looking to buy the dip. People are bandwagoning onto these buys right here. As price comes back down, they're going to get stopped out again. Indices are still kind of high. And it's funny how this thing changes. Did you guys see this earlier? So earlier this morning, it said Dow jumps 100 points. Then it went to 200 points. Then it went to 300 points. Now it's back to 100 points. It's like they're just adjusting it as price continues to move along the header. So none of this stuff is like set in place. It's just, let's see, cryptocurrencies climb as dollar pulls back. That's one thing that I wanted to take a look at as well. I know you, Marco, you hopped right back into this XRP. Yeah, so it finally broke out of that range that we drew. So I drew this range here a while back on the daily chart, finally broke out of it. It looks like it's retracing back down to retest the zone, possibly bounce back from there. Let's see. All right, back to US30. DeJohn said, Buddy looks constipated. Exactly. It's going back and forth. All right, so here we go as price starts to come back down. Oh, you're talking about the guy right here in the picture. Yeah, now he does. All right, so this is fine. We need price to come back below here. Retrace, provide us at wick rejection with the sell signal and continuation back down. The thing we got to look out for is news. So we do have news coming up right here in about 5 minutes, I believe. Let me check the MyFX book. Yeah, we got Dallas Fed Services Index, Dallas Fed Services Revenues Index. Everything's done forex factory right now. Let's see, tomorrow we got some more Fed, Powell speaking tomorrow, Bullard speaking tomorrow, pending home sales. Yeah, we'll see where that goes. All right, so I think tomorrow will pick up a lot more because so today Powell was speaking, but he spoke pre-market, so he didn't really affect the market as much as would have been anticipated. A lot of people aren't trading at 4:30 a.m. for US. Tomorrow he's speaking at 7, so expect some high volatility tomorrow. All right, so if you guys look closely, price is back in the same range that it was earlier this morning. So same range that I drew right here. I'm going to draw it up again. The same exact range that I drew, look where price is at. It's literally right back into it. So market opened in the range, came back to it right here, and then it came right back to it again right here. Man, blows my mind. You know how strong these ranges are. So price started here, faked out, came up, faked out, came down, faked out, came right back up, and it's back to where it was on open. It's like price literally went nowhere for today. And this is how you can see that price is not moving directional at all, right? Because typically you want price to just go directional, go up, retrace, continue. But no, this came up, came back down, and then came back up to where it was originally. Just curious when price is going to finally switch over. The thing is, we're getting deeper and deeper into fall, so I'm like, when is it going to happen? Hopefully sooner than later. All right, so price is coming down right here with the sell signal, perfectly fine. We want it to come back below here. There we go. So price comes down lower. Yeah, exactly. Peter said they were going for a stop loss hunt both ways. Definitely. But yeah, I haven't seen one directional day in the past, I don't know, since May. Like where it's actually been moving smooth and directional. Every day it's been choppy back and forth. All right, so we got the sell signal here pending. We got news coming up in about 2 minutes, unfortunately. We got a new zone down here. Let's take off that 10-minute because we do have a new one here on the 1 minute. Check the zones, make sure they're good. This one's gone. I think this one's gone too. New one right here. All right, solid. This one right here, or it keeps coming and going. What I'm going to wait for here is I'm going to wait for this to pass news. And I'm hoping it just consolidates around this area. Because if it consolidates around this area, perfect, because we can start looking for the rejection here. I mean, we have a possible entry right here, but it's like right before news candle. So I don't think I'm going to be taking it because this news candle right here can easily spike price. Let me check what. Oh, it's a low impact news. But still, we should probably, I don't know, we'll see how this here closes. We still need that sell signal. No. I was going to FOMO into this trade, but no, I'm not going to. I'm going to wait. It was looking like a good SR rejection. But either way, we have news coming up right here. Man, this does look like a good entry. I'm going to have to sit on it, though, unfortunately. So we got news right here. This is what I'll do. If price comes back down, I'll make it for a late entry. Because I do think price is going to correct back down. Let's see the news price real quick, see where it's at. Hasn't updated yet. See, good thing we didn't take the entry there. News candle screwed this whole trade up. So I'm not going to make it a late entry at all now because it technically would have hit stop loss if we would have taken it. Good thing that we're following our requirements here, not trading news, right? Here goes, price starts to swing back down. I do expect it to come back down. So maybe I'll make the late entry as price does come back lower. But I'm going to watch it first and see. Spreads at 180 right now. Probably not one that I want to play with. No, I'm going to hold off on this. I'm trying to convince myself to fall into this trade, which I know I shouldn't. So news price right here, and this is going to suck because we have news price right below the zone. So we can't even take a trade if we get a rejection off here. Price literally needs to be down here in order for us to take a trade. So this right here is going to be 7:30 US news. Let's see, what was it? It was neutral. So services was negative, revenue was positive. So good thing I caught myself there and was not falling into this trade because I would have gone destroyed right here. Oh man. So let's see what else we've got over here. Okay, price is pushing up. We got a pending buy signal here. So I'm definitely not looking for variations anymore. I was looking for variations earlier because price was moving directional down here, but it's obviously not moving directional anymore. Price is back to the range. So I'm going to leave this range up here so that you guys can see how it keeps re-entering this area right here, right? It's not going anywhere. It keeps pulling right back into the same range that it was in on open. So if you guys just focus in this area right here, you can see that this acts like as a magnet. It just pulls price right back in. It'll fake out, pull it back in, fake out, pull it back in, fake out down here, pull it back in, another fake out, and it pulls it right back in. So people are getting stopped out in both directions. If you look at the sentiment, it keeps changing by like 1 or 2 percentage points. And that's because people keep getting pulled into that. They keep getting lured and then it pulls out. So it's now at 70%. If price dumps again right back out, you'll probably see this drop back to like 69. And then people will try to buy the dip and then let's see. Yeah, so if it drops back down to this area here, it's 1,000 pip drop. It's a big stop loss to handle that drop like that. All right. Peter said, don't forget to stay on the live an extra 20, 30 minutes since the moves happen when you get off. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, Peter. If it's like within this area right here, then there's just no point, right? This area right here, because there's all of these red flags. So even if we were to stay on, we can't take any trades even if they come on after, unfortunately. Let's see. B said, have I seen this? Let me check. He said my forex funds VIP. Let me check that link. Here, let's see. It's loading up. See. So it said at MyForex Funds, you believe in rewarding those who preserve and do hard work to obtain success. We're initiating a new program rewarding traders who are successfully trading with MFF in the long term. We have hundreds of traders who've been trading with us for more than 5 months and month after month enjoying benefits of our evaluation program. Yeah, so here's the thing. The problem with this here is that you got to read the fine print, right? It says, however, if your trading style is considered all in or high risk, you will not be eligible unless your style reverts to a tolerable risk threshold for a 3-month period. So I don't know if I'll fall for like if the criteria will be met, right? Because we're scalping. So scalping is considered high risk for a lot of people that don't understand it. Also because of our risk to reward. So I don't know. I'll try it out. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I didn't see this, but the thing with MFF is they're known for doing shady stuff. So I could be making a lot of profit and I can be, consistently profitable, but just because of my due to my trading style, they might just consider me ineligible. They've done shady stuff like that before. I mean, you guys have seen MFF in the past, but no, it's a good idea. I'll probably message them and see if I can get part of that. But they always look for ways not to approve you, right? Because they've done that before. I mean, if you a lot of you guys are new to MFF, but like for you guys who've been part of MFF in the past, before they didn't even allow scalping. Like if you scalp, they would say that you were too risky and they wouldn't even give you a funded account. So yeah, Marco said you can have them analyze your account and to tell you. They don't really analyze your account like that. They always say they analyze your account, but it's put through a computer system. They don't actually look at your trades. Yeah, B said I think it's based on a consistency over a 3-month period, but maybe you're right with the high risk. Yeah, because the thing is, if I suffer a loss, it's going to be like 3 times the win. Even though I have like a bunch of wins, I'll have like a super high win rate, like like a 90% win rate. But due to the fact that I'm the RR is different, it raises a red flag for them. But yeah, those instant payouts are nice. So, I'll try to talk to him about it. I'm probably not going to qualify because if you guys remembered past couple, I mean, I had to start new MFF accounts because I don't remember what happened. I think the MT4 froze or something. And then it hit my max, or no, we were trading gold. So I was trading gold with you guys at one time. I accidentally put too big of a stop TP because I was using my US30 lot sizes. And MFF is different from FTMO. So what happened was I accidentally violated all of my MFF accounts. So it hasn't been 3 months yet, or it's going to be soon, but I'll keep you guys updated once I reach out to them. Because they're saying a minimum of 3 months, but it can be longer than that. That's just their minimum. It'd probably have to take maybe, in order for them to really approve me, they'd probably look for double that, maybe 5 or 6 months. So I'll let you guys know. I mean, forex MFF is still not on my good side because of their execution times. So I don't necessarily like them that much right now, but if they'll give it to me, I'll take it. All right, anyways, back to the charts over here. There's literally nothing for us to take. You guys can see where price is rejecting from. You can see all the news right here. This big red candle right here basically came up, rejected directly off all of these horizontal lines. And then it comes, right back down. Yeah, exactly. B said it's a good thing that it kind of proves they're trying to do things to improve and they'll most likely be around for a while. Yeah, I mean, possibly they'll attract certain traders, right? Because you saw this and you're amazed that this VIP program came out, just like a lot of other people, right? It's just this flashy thing that they're hanging in front of you to make you want to stay with them, but their execution time still sucks, so it doesn't make a difference. You could be the greatest trader if their execution times aren't good. You can easily get your account violated, especially if you're really pushing the limits for your daily loss. So the thing with these companies, guys, is you guys got to think about stuff that's really important. This VIP program is nothing important. It's not a big deal. The thing that you want to keep an eye out for is their spreads, execution times, payouts. They say they're instant payouts, but they're not instant. It's still going to take a couple of weeks for them to pay out or a couple of days. So Just keep that in mind. You know, a lot of companies say these things that they're going to make these changes and become a better company, but realistically, it's all talk. It's all talk until they actually do it. Yeah, B said it's just another way to rival FTMO with the 90% payouts, I think. Yeah, and I agree with you 200%. These companies are just going to be trying to fight each other over time. FTMO is still the gold standard. So, you know, if you guys haven't passed your FTMO, I don't recommend doing MFF. And I still don't recommend TFF because I haven't gotten my payout from them yet. So I'll let you guys know when that happens, but you know, FTMO is still my go-to. The downside though, guys, so here's the thing with the rebranding for a K2. We've the agreements right and the settlements already been finalized. So thank God the whole lawsuit thing's been kind of done with. So I'm still in the phase out period right now where I have to take away, you know, all the K2 stuff. The main issue with this here is that FTMO will not change my email since I don't have the domain anymore. I'll have to see how long I'll be able to have access to my email. But once my access loses, I basically lose my FTMO accounts and have to start over. So it sucks because I've had this account for so long, and I've talked to FTMO. I've explained to them the situation, was gonna give them the legal documents, but they won't change my email. So yeah, at some point I'm gonna have to restart FTMO. I'm basically gonna start from scratch like you guys, or for whoever's like starting a new account. But I'll let you guys know when that happens. You know, if that happens or when that happens, maybe I'll document it so that you guys can see me start back from like zero back to, you know, fully funded accounts on all these different companies. But yeah, eventually, I don't know when it's going to happen, but whenever they cut me off from the email, because I don't have the domain anymore, so I don't own K2 Trades anymore. I got to change the company name and all that stuff. We're now Kodi Kai Trades, and I'll have to. So here's also the problem. I can't start a new account with FTMO until I delete my current account, and I don't want to delete it because I have 2 funded accounts on there. So I'm just going to keep getting payouts until I don't have access to the email, and then once I don't have access to it, I'm just going to start a brand new FTMO account. Anyways, back to the charts over here. B said you're allowed to have as many challenges as you want, even if you're funded. Yeah, but this is the thing. If I start a new account, then I'm going to be in violation of their terms, and they're just going to delete both accounts. B, do you get that? Because they can't have 4 funded accounts. So I can't have 2 funded accounts, pass 2 challenges, get funded on the other account, and then they start to see that I have 2 different accounts, and then they ban all the accounts because it's happened before. I've traded my mom's account, and I got banned on all of them. So. B said what you can do is get 2 funded accounts, ask them to close the previous before taking any trades. Yeah, no, I could do that too. But then I'll have to have like so many accounts running at once. So I'd rather just wait for my accounts to just wipe out. It won't matter because I'm just not going to get payouts for a month, right? It's not a big deal. I could go for a month without getting payouts. But the thing is, I don't want all my accounts to get wiped out because it's happening before. I've already been flagged for this. So think about it. I'm doing this thing twice. They're going to think I'm frauding the system. So yeah, I'm just going to wait for my accounts to just basically wipe out. And then once they wipe out, I'll start a new account. Because I've done this before with like, I've actually gotten caught twice. So I've gotten caught twice copying accounts. I've gotten caught twice. I'm already on the radar. They know I've done this before because I've traded my mom's account. I traded my family's account. And they're like, if you do this again, we're just going to ban you. And I'm like, okay. I'm not going to do it anymore. So I'm not going to try to push it. Anyways, there's nothing here for us to take, guys. Price is literally at the same area. It's right back at, I mean, it hasn't moved anywhere. Came up right here, rejected off this area. And then again, right here, same thing. B said time to load up on forex VPS. I'll have to check it out. No, I wouldn't risk it though. I've gotten caught too many times where I don't want to get banned from FTMO. FTMO is like the company I definitely don't want to get banned from. Like if I get banned from MFF or TFF, that's fine. But FTMO is like, it's been the most stable, most solid company I've worked with. We got a pending zone up here, but I don't think it's going to matter because we're not looking for buys. Stern said momentum scalp hit. Yeah, if you guys saw this momentum scalp here that Stern was looking at, the only problem here is that it's in the middle of all of these red flags. So yes, it did hit full TP, but it is in a very messy area. Delete this. Man, I think today's worse than yesterday. Because yesterday we didn't have all of these news events. There was news here at 4:30, news at 6:55, news at 6, news at 7, all in the same area. News at 5:30 up here, opening prices down here, and news down here. There's like news all throughout this entire area here, where it makes it impossible for us to take any trades. Yeah, Maddie said today was a shitty day. I agree. 100%, Maddie. It's just, there's too many news events. And the thing is, the news events didn't really push price around. I was expecting price to kind of like bounce around a lot, but it didn't really bounce around at all. It just stayed within this area. Here's the clean chart. Let me go and just clean everything up over here real quick. So price is still within this range right here. I mean, it's in the same range that it's been from this morning. You can see the fake outs right here that happen pretty much every time. Here, I'll just draw the fake outs here so that you guys can see. Fake out, fake out, fake out. Again, another fake out. And again, right here. So fake out, comes up, fakes out, comes down, fakes out, comes back up into it, pulls back, fakes out, comes back into it. Another one right here. The main area for it to retreat to is going to be this area right here down the middle. So you can see right here, price is starting to come right back down. The problem with this here is that even though the price comes back down, we don't have any room to take any trades because we have all these red flags in the middle. So it's just frustrating because I'm like, I want to FOMO into these trades, but I also don't. Because the thing is, I see some patterns here playing out, but they're just not good trades. And I don't want to teach you guys bad habits of FOMOing into trades when you guys get frustrated. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. I'm still looking for trades here. Unfortunately, I haven't seen anything. I'm glad to see a lot of you guys here still locked in some pretty good profits. So Valentine said the last week of the month is usually a little tricky and weird movement. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, exactly. Sideways. Yeah, so like what Valentino here said, he mentioned that the last week of the month is usually a little tricky with weird movement. And that's what I was mentioning earlier with pre-NFP, right? Usually pre-NFP is like choppy and sideways. That's basically what's happening right here. Price just keeps faking out and then it pulls right back into the middle. You know, this messes with your trade psychology because what happens is a lot of people, your strategies don't work during this week, right? A lot of people's strategies don't work during the last week of the month because the market's so choppy. And what happens is a lot of people start to stop. They start to not believe in their strategy. So this is a crazy thing because this has happened to me before too, where like I had a really good strategy, like the variations, right? We would apply the variations, and then as soon as it got to like the last week of the month, it would stop working because obviously the market's like this. And then we would stop using it. We'd go back to like the breakouts. We just keep changing strategies, right? We go from like the variations to the breakouts to the daily entries to these pivot scalps and etc. When realistically, we should have just been patient during the last week of the month and then continued with what we were doing, because if you would do that, the following week NFP would be a good week for us because it'd be so volatile. So don't worry if your strategies aren't working right here, guys. You know, it typically doesn't work very well the week before NFP because you guys can see the choppiness here. It's pretty obvious. Market opened right here. This is the blue line where market opened. Price faked out, came up, faked out, came down, faked out. It just keeps bouncing back and forth. There's no direction at all. Realistically, it's just one huge range. If I was to draw a range right here, this is literally the range for today. So price pushed about 3,000 pips. It's good because volatility is high. But if you measure it from where opening price was, so market open right here at 630. If you measure it from here, price hasn't moved too far from actual opening price. So if this is opening price right here, price is only pushed about 600 pips. So it's not that far out. It's like price didn't really go anywhere for today. It's gone distance and range, but it hasn't really moved from opening price. Alex is asking, what's NFP? NFP is non-farm payroll. It's basically the biggest news day of the month. It happens the first week of each month on Friday. The whole week is NFP though, because they're going to be releasing unemployment, employment, and unemployment claims. Basically all employment in the US. So people who are employed, people who are unemployed, people who are putting unemployment claims, just basically the jobs, right? Because this will be a clear indication as to how the economy is doing. If people are getting fired or laid off, then the economy is not doing good because people aren't being, they don't have work, and then they can't buy stuff, right? So every Friday, first week of the month is NFP. Typically the week before is like a warm up to NFP. And that's why the market's kind of choppy. And then on NFP, market starts to move super crazy. It starts to move very erratic, but it moves erratic in directional phases instead of this like choppiness right here. So yeah, if you guys don't see anything good, I don't recommend forcing any trades. I mean, I almost forced a trade earlier over here, which would have lost. Thank God I didn't take the trade. But yeah, I mean, this is probably a good time to conserve your capital and just wait for these like very high quality trades, right? We haven't seen any trades here. Let me just go down real quick and see if there was any variation, or not variations, but K2SR rejection scalps that came up. I don't think there was any today. So let me go over here real quick. I'll just go from like 630. So market open right here at 630. There were a couple SR rejection scalps here, but we couldn't take them because they were right at news price. So if you were just to disregard, the red flags, there was one right here. So this one right here would have been a win for an SR scalp. Obviously, we wouldn't have taken it because of the red flags there. But I just want to show you guys, there's a couple entries here that could have came in, and these are like FOMO moves that I probably would have taken myself. Another one right there, back-to-back wins. Nothing here. Price came down below. Another one right here. Unfortunately, we couldn't have taken it because candle was too big. Let's see if I can find some more. Price came down below here. Nothing here. Nothing here. Possibly one right there, but it was right at red flag again. So it looks like there were maybe like 2 or 3 entries here that would have came up. Right here, another one, but this would have been a total loss. This is why the red flags are important. Sometimes you'll get lucky with these trades over here, but sometimes you won't get lucky. So it's better to just stay out of these trades rather than forcing them. But other than that, I don't think there's really much. So it's getting close to 8, guys. It's 7:54 right now. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to take any trades today. It's about 6 minutes till 8. Today, I was thinking about staying on a little longer, but price is literally at all these news prices right here, right? You guys can see all the news right here. So there's no point in staying on because for the next 30 minutes, price is just gonna move around this area. At some point in the future, maybe tomorrow, if price does move away from all these news prices, then we can probably stay on and do a longer session. But let me check the news for tomorrow. So tomorrow we have news at 5:30. We have goods trades balance, prelim home sale inventories. 7, we have pending home sales. Fed member Bullard speaking again at 7, and then Fed Chair Powell speaking at 7:15. So we could expect a lot of movement to happen tomorrow. There's a lot of Fed talk tomorrow. We have Fed member Bowman speaking at 8. And then at 7:30, we have crude oil inventories. So we've got a lot of news events coming around tomorrow. A couple actual news events. So like good trades balance, light impact, prelim home wholesales, light impact, pending home sales, medium impact, and then the Fed's going to be speaking all day. So that could be a good thing for us because we don't necessarily have a time to avoid. We'll just have higher volatility around those time periods. So yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to get anything anytime soon because we're right at news price. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. If there's anything that you guys want me to cover, anything for me to clarify, anything for me to explain, just drop your questions in the chat right now. Otherwise, we'll probably be wrapping this up soon. So the good thing is that we're still early in the week, guys. It's only Tuesday. And this is going to be testing your patience and testing your discipline. I mean, it tested my discipline today, and I've been trading for so long. My trade psychology should be A1, but today it's not. You know, I'm really tempted to enter these riskier trades, which I know I shouldn't. So if you guys have any questions, you know, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm here to help you with whatever you guys need help with, but hopefully you guys are understanding the reason behind the you guys are understanding the reasoning behind the holding off from taking these trades and forcing them. It's just not worth the risk. The last thing you want to do is take a loss and then be in a hole for the rest of the week. So if you lose a trade today, it's going to take you a couple trades to make it right back, you know, tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. So, all right, guys, it's getting close to 8, so I think we're just going to wrap this up, unfortunately. It's right in the middle of all these red flags, so there's nothing for us to take. Even if price drops below here, we have these red flags down here. If price stays around this area, we still have red flags right here. So I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time in waiting for this here to possibly break out. It'll probably break out in the next couple hours. So maybe by like 10, it'll probably break out of this area, but I don't see it breaking out within the next, 30 minutes or so. So it's going to take a while for it to actually be away from here. Volatility looks pretty low too. Let's see, quick thing from Peter. Peter said the stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient, Warren Buffett. Exactly, Peter. And that's the main thing. You guys have to have discipline and know when to not trade. Even though I know some of you guys are just going to log off and take your own trades. So good luck to you guys who do that. Because I know that's how some of you guys are, right? It's just how some people are. They're hardwired to think that they need to take trades every single day. So yeah, if you guys don't need to trade, I would just sit it out. There's just way too many red flags right here. And then just save your capital for tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. Peter, Peter said YOLO. All right, guys. So I think that's it. Unfortunately, there's nothing for us to take. So we're gonna wrap it up a little early today, about a minute early, and we're gonna come back here tomorrow for the next.